Yo, what is going on, Steeler Nation? Welcome back to the Steel Factory podcast. This is episode 416. My name is Rion. I'm joined by my co-host Junior today.
What's up? What's up?
And here we have our Steelers Jets week 7. Week 7 preview. Basically going over what's happened this week, and then we'll preview the Jets game. What do we want to open up with, Russ, or what?
I think we need to. Well, I think we got to open up with Davante and Russ. There's lots of little news that is actually really relevant to us.
Oh yeah, so didn't get Davante. That happened Tuesday morning. He ended up going to the Jets, the team we play this week, and he was on the Raiders last week, who we played. What do you think about him being at Aaron Rodgers' house before the trade even went through?
Look, dude, there were all these people on Twitter that were having meltdowns and saying Khan is not being aggressive enough because the Jets got him for a conditional third. But at the end of the day, it just goes to show he wanted to be with Rodgers, dude. He wanted his big complaint in Oakland is the team's not good. They don't have a good quarterback. He's being wasted there, right? He went there for a payday and stuff, but I think he thought they had a better chance to win when he went.
Yeah.
So it seems pretty obvious. He wanted to go with Rodgers. He wanted to go with someone who he thought gave him a higher ceiling. And obviously, Rodgers, he's banged up and stuff, and he does look old. But he's still Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah. So he's not moving a lot though. We'll get into it, right? But
yeah. But yeah, I don't think we ever had an honest chance. I think Khan wanted to lock somebody up for a few years, considering the kind of draft capital we were going to be giving up, right? Especially if you think about it in the way of we're only giving up a third, to get an elite wide receiver. But if it's only for a year, and you kind of already know that this year we're not really in that tier of team, and you already kind of know we're going to be looking for a quarterback in the near future, you need all the ammunition you can get, draft capital wise, to move up. And if you're going to be throwing away draft picks on 10-game rentals, it doesn't make any sense to do that.
So, I just think it's bullshit. What the Raiders doing, sending him to where he wants to go. If you're being a bitch, you know what I mean? If you're holding out, being a bitch of your injury, stuff like that. Bro, what is this league right now? You're just gonna end up sending him to where he wants to go. He's forcing himself his way out to a team he wants to go. If you're doing that shit, bro, send him to fucking the Jags, team that fucking sucks right now. The Browns, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't like that at all. I mean, because the Steelers had dudes that fucking sucked. Where'd they send them? The fucking Raiders. Dudes that were holding out. Martavis, AB, send them to the fucking Raiders. I don't care what we got back.
Oh yeah, I think it's just a question of leverage and stuff too. Adams was on the last year of his deal, or the last guaranteed year of his deal, so he's probably I want to have a rework deal, and I'm gonna fucking sit out next year, or my hamstring is still gonna be hurt for another month. All this stuff. Players do have a lot less leverage in the NFL than they do in the NBA. Which is good, I think, for the league. The bad thing about the NBA is the most interesting part about it is free agency and the trade deadline, and then nothing really matters after that until the finals in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
But so that not being a feature of the NFL is definitely a plus. But the players in the NFL do have little things they can do to create their own leverage with where they want to be. So this is just one of those situations where Adams did have a decent amount, and he got to play where he wanted to play, and the Jets are kind of going all in on this year, and they're going to see if they can work out a deal with Adams for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, that is what it is at this point. I don't know if he's going to play. Do we know if he's going to play?
He said he's good to go.
That's fucking bullshit. Yeah. All right. That is what it is. I like our corners. JPJ, Dante Jackson, Alex Hypens comes out. So Aaron Rodgers will be rushing a lot. So, yeah, there's that. And then looked like he was good to go last week, but now he's actually getting the number 1 reps, Russell Wilson. You think it's actually his time to go now?
I want to say it's interesting because part of me thinks that some people are talking about how Fields is a better matchup for the Jets. So why would you? So it could be like a smokescreen. I don't even know that that's true. The Jets in the years past, they have been able to like generate a lot of pressure with their defensive line, just because they have a lot of guys there, or they used to have a lot of guys there, and they used to be able to like rotate guys
They still have
in and
Quinn
out of there.
Williams.
I think so, but the problem is like they don't really have that depth there anymore. So over the course of the game, they're not really able to generate all that pressure with just their line.
Okay.
They actually have to like kind of get blitzes going, and obviously that opens them up to kind of the passing game and stuff if you have a quarterback that can execute it well. So the Jets defense has been really good, but it definitely like has its holes as far as depth goes. Their in secondary is super banged up. I think three of their starters in their secondary are all hurt, or I think they might miss this game. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna miss the game like completely, but they're definitely hurt. So that's definitely a factor. And their linebacker core is definitely missing C.J. Mosley. They lost him in free agency, and or maybe they just let him go. And you can definitely tell that they didn't fill that hole super well. So the defense, while it is good, I'm not saying by any means that this is a bad defense. Like it is a really good defense still, but it's definitely shakier than it has been in years past where it was locked down.
Okay, yeah, because they've kind of been in every game last year. I don't want to say, right?
Yeah.
And they came from defense. Even like the Zach Wilson years, whatever, they'd have a pretty solid defense, and that kind of kept them in games. But right now, I mean, they're kind of in the same boat as us. I just don't think their defense is as good, right? They just have an offense that's not really scoring points. Because I saw, what were they? Were they on Monday night this past week? And it was like a 13-10 game or some shit.
Yeah, and I think it finished like 23-20.
Oh, did it? Okay, that was probably the last
Yeah.
time I had checked or whatever. All right, it is what it is. Bills, not bad. Any other? That's really for the news, right? Before we really start getting into like the Jets and our matchups, right?
Yeah. Oh, but going back to like Russ.
Yeah, I think
You
we
want to talk
actually
about
did.
like
We skip over that, and you just went into their defense.
I think we were talking about like how we match up, how Fields versus Russ matches up with. I was talking about how Fields versus Russ matches up with their
Yeah,
defense.
yeah,
I don't think the Fields versus I don't think Fields matches up with their defense like so much better than Russ does.
right.
To the point to where like this could be some crazy smokescreen. Like from everyone, all the Pittsburgh media guys, like Russ is getting a lot of the first team reps. And it like Mike Tomlin isn't necessarily the kind of guy to like play like this.
Right. He's
Like
very straight
try to
up.
play, like he'll like keep it super vague at the podium, but he's never been the type to just kind of like do bait and switches like this and put Fields out there after giving Russ all the first team reps. And if anything, I think it's a little disrespectful to both of them to
Yeah.
be doing that kind of stuff. And that doesn't seem like Tomlin at all. So I do expect to see Russ out there. And we could talk about like Russ versus Fields and if it's a good move, and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll get into that right now actually before we really start getting into like betting odds and stuff. But yeah, I mean, Russ versus Fields. Bottom line is, can Russ make up for it in the passing game? Because obviously a lot of our offense has flowed through Fields' legs thus far. I mean, he has like 5 rushing touchdowns and he has like half of our rushing yards almost. I'd say a third maybe actually. So yeah, can Russ make up for that in the passing game? We're always gonna throw out, the line's banged up. Who knows how much time he has? He has Broderick Jones controller disconnecting in the middle of a fucking play. Backup center this week as well. I don't think Zach Frazier's going. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Fields has been making up a lot for the holes on our line right now. and we'll see if Russ will can do that by just passing it easily, finding the opening guy. Because I know there's a lot of film out there showing Fields missing guys. There's open guys where, I guess they're NFL open, I'd say, right? Where you should be able to make
sometimes
that
they're
throw.
just like straight. Dude, sometimes they're straight up open. Like there's like 10 yards between them and the next closest guy, and even if that's like the safety up top, the safety's hips are completely pointed the wrong way, so that they have like, so they're definitely like they're open, you know.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. I mean, we've been talking about it a lot with Fields. Is he's like the first couple weeks it was really cool to see him like make these quick passes and stuff, because that was the thing that was really lacking in his game in Chicago, and the thing that a lot of coaches and uh, media people wanted to see him improve with. But as we got deeper into the season, or at least like games or weeks 4, 5, and 6, it was kind of like, wow, he is really holding us back, because there's guys that are open down the field. And if he can just make these plays, if he can make these passes, our offense and our passing game looks a lot better, right? Like, obviously, we don't have the best wide receiver room in the world, but a decent quarterback can get the ball to open players,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And I've really just kind of felt like we definitely shied away from the short to intermediate range, and a lot of it just came down to hit the pocket breaking down. He just kind of would bail out and get on the run and try to like get open guy there, and then half the time the passes were bad. And there were some good plays though. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of his best plays came from that, but it's like that shouldn't have to happen. He should stay in the pocket, find an open guy. And I really don't think we're running enough go routes. I felt taking chances with guys like Pickens and Calvin Austin. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That I thought we were doing actually the first couple games. Like you look back at the Denver game, a lot of those PIs came from those go routes on Pickens, and we kind of shied away from that. I don't know if it really was just kind of a change in the game plan, more or less, to kind of, I guess, gear it towards Russell Wilson as we were kind of going back to him, or really was just the teams we were playing, they just weren't that good.
Yeah, and maybe
Verdict's still out there on those other teams though.
No, yeah, that's a good point. Like were we trying to like give the game plan that Arthur Smith had like kind of drawn up for Russell Wilson and kind of implement it with Fields? And the last few weeks, the game plan did kind of shift a bit. Like, oh, we're begging them to open up the game plan and open up the playbook and the offense so that we can like really get it going.
Yeah.
And maybe we did, and it's just like, wait a minute, like Fields isn't making any of the throws
No.
with the like with the open game plan, like, and that's what like I've been seeing on so many like all 22 clips is he'll be making like bad reads in the defense and throw it to guys that are covered. Obviously, like, oh, he's making a quick throw, he's being decisive, but if he made a quick throw to the other guy and read the defense better, that's another 6 yards, right? Or if you do it like in a soft spot in the zone, 15 yards downfield in the flow of the offense, right? Like that's a big chunk play, and those guys are open, and you're never making those throws. Or sometimes Fields just he gets panicky, like we saw it in that one series, this last weekend against who did we play?
Raiders.
The Raiders, where like he had 3 throws in a row that he was on the run. He never got his feet set. Like they were all terrible passes, super overthrown. And it's like, okay, did our line really get wrecked like that, or what?
That was
like
right off the block punt too. We're in the red zone, and we got to settle for a field goal.
So like, oh, we scored 32 points last weekend, which is fantastic, right? Like our offense did amazing, but every single one of those was a super short field.
Yeah, I think there was one like 80 play drive, and that might have been Najee's home run.
Yeah.
It is what it is, though. I think we're kind of moving past it. Let Fields sit for a bit. Let him sit behind Russ, and who knows? Maybe that's good for him in the long run. And and if Russ can't get it going, then back to Fields, I guess, right?
Yeah, and like you could be like, oh, you're gonna destroy his confidence, and like, is this really the best thing for the like long term for the Steelers? And I know I've talked about it too, right?
Yeah.
But I can also get the sense of like maybe they just don't see it, dude. Like maybe they don't see it with Fields. Maybe they're saying like, wow, this guy's in year 4. Like he's really not able to like make reads down the field. He's not able to like, play in an offense. Uh, so why are we kind of rolling with him? Especially when we invested so little, and especially
Yeah.
when if we keep playing him, we're gonna have to send out a higher pick.
The 6 turns into a 4. Yeah, I mean, he could probably play what, 2 more games before that happens, maybe 2.5. I think it's 51% of the snaps. So yeah, let's roll Russ for a bit. Let's roll with Russ for a bit, and I guess the Steelers will be cheap probably. But yeah, another news, new face masks this week. Before we really dive into the thing, what did you think about it? Because I remember I was calling for them when they were wearing the throwbacks for Franco Harris's jersey retirement, and I was like, oh, they should bring back the great face masks. Actually, have kind of a combination, a decent uniform combination, and not just wear a different jersey for these throwbacks, right? Did you see the pictures of the gray face mask? I thought they looked sick.
I think the gray face masks look amazing, dude. We gotta. I get really jealous of other teams because they have these like some other teams. Some of them are terrible, but
Yeah.
other teams like have some great like jerseys, like
Just
super
good
creative
alternates.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we've been one of the more boring teams, or just straight up ugly.
It's
But
good to be
like
traditional though. I like that about us, but again, kind of getting over the color rush. Been wearing it for almost 10 years now. Haven't
and
changed
that's
off that. And then
that's what I
the
mean when I say
throwback
boring.
jerseys, it's just a jersey. And then it's good to add a gray face mask. What I would like if they do those white pants they wore like in the late 60s with the white jersey, that'd be cool too. I don't know if that'll happen. But yeah, I think they'll probably be sticking with the gray face mask throwbacks for a little bit then. Because they're just bringing it out now. Because I'm gonna be honest, AB wore the fucking block number throwbacks, and he was still. They've been going on for a while now. And they decided to add a gray face mask. What, like 7 years in? It's cool though. I'm excited to see this combination. And then the Jets probably be wearing like all white or something. I'm a nerd for like uniform matchups and stuff like that. But yeah, that was cool to see. I'm excited for this throwback night now. Yeah. Let's actually talk about the game now. Enough of the window dressing. But yeah, Steelers Jets. I guess it's gonna be Juan. Again, our defense on their offense. Again, how well is Aaron Rodgers gonna do? We'll get Alex Highsmith back, T.J. Watt. That'll be a good wrecking force. And yeah, our defense is relatively healthy now, right? Highsmith was the only one missing.
We got Highsmith back. I think, those were the big. That was the big hole this last weekend.
Yeah.
No Highsmith, and then obviously Bennett got hurt.
Bennett got hurt. Or Herbig.
Or not Bennett. Or Herbig got hurt.
Yeah, we're down to like our third right outside linebacker.
Yeah, and then and once that happened, like they were just like chipping Watt with like 3 guys, and so you're gonna see on the stat sheet this last weekend against the Raiders, Watt generated 0 pressures. Right, which is like the first for him in like 6 years. But if you watch the film, like, bro, they were chipping him with like 3 guys. Like they had running backs back there constantly. They were not gonna let Watt win the game for us.
And he still did.
The defense.
When they ran the ball, he fucking punched it out twice. Yep. Fucking dog, dude. But yeah, defense is healthy. I like that. And yeah, pretty much, right? Just got to lock down Aaron Rodgers. They haven't really been scoring a lot of points. Didn't they look awful in Europe too? They're 2-4 now. And I like that joke that Davante Adams went from a struggling 2-4 team to a struggling 2-4 team.
Yeah, look, the problems with the Jets offense have been like, it's very, very like, at least before this last weekend, because they switched play callers. Right. They used to have Nate Hackett, and I think now it's like Todd Downing. But before Todd Downing, like their play calling was super static. Like it's like classic Aaron Rodgers fashion where he takes every single play clock down to the last second to like break down the defense in his head as much as possible and all of these things, right?
Yeah.
And then against the Bills on Monday night, they looked a little bit more. There looked to be a little bit more motion. Their offense got going a lot better. And if you really want to like pull hairs or like split hairs about it, like they probably could have won that game just off of field goals if they had a better kicker. because they had 2 missed field goals and they lost by 3 points. So it was definitely within reach for them. I think what we're gonna see this weekend a lot more from this offense, especially with Davante out there. I don't know if he's gonna be on some weird snap count because he's coming off of injury or like quote unquote injury, right? Um, we're gonna see Garrett Wilson a lot more in the slot, and this is a matchup that I'm really worried about. It's gonna be Garrett Wilson against Beanie Bishop still.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So I am worried about like him and Davante lining up on the same side, and obviously like Davante's gonna be on the outside. So who is the safety gonna try and help, right? Like Joey Porter Jr. on Davante or Beanie Bishop on Garrett
I wonder
Wilson?
what you do at this point. I think they gotta have a different game plan than what they just been rolling out with Benny Bishop and running what's a usual like cover 2 or whatever.
Yeah,
Probably gonna have a different game plan. I know we have 2 really good outside corners. Maybe you kind of stick one on the slot and Garrett Wilson like that, and just kind of, I don't know, play zone around Davante or some shit like that. But I think Davante's probably the last person you want to play zone against, right? Because he kind of just carved that up when he was on the Raiders last year against us.
yeah.
So yeah, they have 2 really good receivers now. So we have 2 good cornerbacks. I don't know. I'd like
And
to see
Garrett
something
Wilson's
different.
really great at getting like separation off the line and stuff too. Like he's gonna be running a lot of like quick slants and underneath routes, and I think they're I am nervous. Maybe like put Patrick Queen like Patrick Queen's been pretty. He had his best game last week.
Yeah.
He was really quick on tackles and stuff. So um, I think we should be good. Obviously, you also have the threat of like Brees Hall, who's had a quieter season than
Yeah.
expected, but still obviously super talented, right?
They definitely have a lot of weapons for a team that's been struggling. And now I'm just starting to see why we're not favored. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But like at the same time, Rodgers is kind of hurt. He's not as mobile as he used to be. Like he can't really get out of the pocket. He's
That's
looking
what
like
I've been
slow.
hearing too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking slow. He looks. It looks like he just doesn't have like that crazy deep ball anymore. He did have that Hail Mary, but like there's definitely not enough. Or he definitely lost like a little bit of strength on it. And dude, that Jets line in pass protection has been terrible. So
Right.
I'm thinking if we have Hightower and Watt,
Highsmith.
Highsmith,
This happens a
High,
lot.
yeah,
Highsmith, Watt, Cam,
Highsmith and Watt and
Benton.
Cam, like
Yeah.
I don't see how they don't dominate. It's like uh, Hayward and Watt are like 2 of the highest, greatest defensive linemen in the whole league.
Cam Hayward is still getting it done. I love
Hayward is
that
still getting
contract
it
right
done.
now.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, very very happy with it.
Yeah.
So it could really be that simple too. It could really be like, oh wow, like the Steelers line just kept killing him, right? Because he was having a ton of trouble against the Bills, and the Bills aren't necessarily like some prolific pass rushing team,
Yeah.
right? So
They
I
got that
think
new
that
stud though. Who was it as an edge guy? I remember he was fucking us up in the fucking preseason game, and I found out he's like a new stud that they got. Um, I'm blanking, but yeah, they do have one guy. But yeah, the Bills weren't really getting a home there, or what? Is that
no,
what you
they were generating.
Oh,
I was
right.
I was saying they were generating like a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
And they're not like this crazy team that should be getting all these sacks. Like they're not a team that's built like us
Yeah.
as like a team that puts a ton of pressure on the quarterback, and we're definitely in that kind of like tier of teams.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, really excited for this defensive game now. Actually, saw Prescott and Pittsburgh last time. It was fun to sack. Now we got Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna be fun to sack too. I'm excited for it. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's really just gonna come down to how many times we can put him on his ass, right? And then
Yeah.
offense will kind of, yeah, they'll still meander around the field, but who knows if it's Russ. Might take a little bit warming up. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm excited for
Right.
it though. Yeah, what
The Jets
happened?
defense is still really good.
Fuck
It's still
yeah.
really good. They've been holding these crazy offenses kind of down. Like they held the Vikings to 20 points, and the Vikings were fucking rolling.
Fuck.
So it's still really good. They are hurt. Their secondary's hurt. So I,
We
I
are getting
think
guys back though, aren't we? Getting Cordell Patterson back this week.
I think we're getting Cordell Patterson back. We should be getting more snaps from Warren. Warren was
Yeah,
getting some snaps on Sunday, but he was definitely still limited. They didn't really
right.
give him a big workload. So hopefully we get to see Warren in a.
Well, we'll sure see our run game at full strength with outfields probably, or who knows? Maybe this is where we start to see the both of them on the field, Russ and Fields, if Russ is starting.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'd love to see a Wildcat. Najee gets the ball, he hands it to Fields, some shit like that. We'll see. Yeah. I'm ready for score predictions. If there's any other matchups you want to talk about beforehand.
No, I think would be good.
All right. Yeah, this is the first time I think we're plus money actually since the Falcons game. Plus 120 at home. Steelers plus 2.5. Or I guess Jets minus 2.5. Over under 38.5. How are we feeling on that?
38.5. I'm gonna take the.
All right, we'll see if
over.
you're taking the over under right now. Yeah, score
Okay.
predictions if you want to do that now. Score predictions: Steelers Jets Sunday night, Week 7. Steelers or Jets minus 2.5. Over under 38.5. Repeating that. How are we feeling? Go, let it rip.
Honestly, I haven't predicted a loss this season, and I don't even know if I should start. I've have us at 6-0 just based off predictions, but every time I predict something, I feel really good about it, just because there's definitely ways for us to win these games, and then watching the games play out.
We've only lost by 3 in both games.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, exactly. So I feel really good about Steelers 23, Jets 17.
Yeah, I was actually going for something like that. I was gonna say like Steelers 24, Jets 19. I guess that's the over. Is that the over? I don't. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, huh? Tomlin as a dog at home. You always bring this up. You got to take that, dude. And I'm glad.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Steelers plus 102 earlier in the week, and I jumped up at plus money this morning. It's plus 120, so I'm ready to get on that now. I haven't yet.
Yeah, the books don't seem to like Russ getting all this action.
Russ getting action, and then I guess them getting Davante.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that'll do it for us today, guys. Look out for content. Rudy will be at the game. We're gonna do something sick. Hopefully it comes out cool. Definitely want stuff for the channel, stuff like, and I guess IRL at the games, because I usually always go to the games, and he's gonna be visiting Pittsburgh for this one. I'm excited. So yeah, let's get a W. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and leave a rating if you're listening to Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And yeah, here we go, Steelers.